Hello and welcome to Shy Talk, an Irish history podcast. This week we've got a great guest, someone we've been trying to get in for a while. It's Justine Stafford, and we're talking about everyone's favourite Mullingar man, Joe Dolan. If you don't know the music of Joe Dolan, don't worry about it. This is still a crazy story you'll enjoy. If you do know the music of Joe Dolan, then congratulations. You're living a truly blessed life. But there's an awful lot more. I started researching this story ages ago. We did it live in Mullingar a year ago maybe. And I thought, he's that musician that everyone over the age of 60 likes. But he lived a weirdly interesting life. So we talked about that for about an hour and a half with Justine, who was a wonderful guest. And you should check out all of her stuff. There'll be a link to her Instagram probably in the description of this. You probably know her from some of her online bits. If you don't know Justine, you should go check her out. She's a funny person. I'm just thinking now, maybe I think I did this before for Brendan Behan on the Patreon. I might do a radio show style episode with the music of Joe, because I don't know how copyright law works, but I think if I put it behind the Patreon, then nothing bad will happen, even though I'm advertising it on the free one. So you can sign up for the Patreon. There'll be a link for that as well, if you like. There's stuff up there. We've recorded a lot of stuff that needs to go up, just can't find the time to edit it. But we've got about 6-7 episodes ready to go somewhere on a hard drive. But anyway, listen, that's irrelevant. Joe Dolan, great musician, interesting man. Justine Stafford, great woman, interesting musician. It's a very fun episode. Hope you enjoy it. Good luck.
Gather around now, you're in for a story. Old tales of lore, all in search of a glory. The history and mystery of lads, lasses and all. The discoveries and voyages, the rise and the fall. Follow me now as we go back in time. We trace the steps of Irish lineage to find. Joseph from Carlisle and Gavin and Dawn guide you through the ways of Shy Talk.
Do.
You sing the theme tune?
Yeah. Oh no, that's Joe's song.
Oh.
Is it?
Is it?
I don't know. No, it's the theme song for Thunderbirds, is it?
Thunderbirds are Joe.
Hey!
Joe. Oh man. How are you?
Jesus, I'm well now.
I mean,
I'm excited. Well, look, we've been a long time planning this, in fairness. This has been a long time in the making.
This is normal. It's the
Oh,
same.
okay.
You can look up at our board there. We have a process where we'll message someone and it takes about a year to a year and a half for
Jesus,
it to
don't rush
materialize.
it. I like that.
We're very lazy.
But also what's
And
happened
very-
is sometimes we've just put people's names up, not contacted them at all, and within a year it just happens.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
they might contact us.
Yeah, it's a
That's
vision board
lovely.
more than
It's
anything.
busy, we've got
That's-
CMATs up there. Just going to wait till she calls.
We got the phone line here ready to go.
Yeah.
We
Is the
hop
phone
in.
plugged in? You're some fucking idiot.
Oh my God.
But
It'll
maybe,
happen. Yeah, I like that.
Oh,
Dream big.
like there's so many people that was just on. It'll happen.
Yeah. Because I was here thinking, God, I felt guilty. But now I realise,
Oh God,
Jesus,
no. Things happen.
pints.
Pints. To be honest,
you
one
know?
thing happens. It's
Yeah.
the same. I can't write that story today. I've
But
got.
that's consistent.
It is.
It's good to have a
consistent.
consistency.
It is.
So. But I'm delighted to be here.
It's great to have you.
Fucking am.
Yeah. But we're here today to talk about your hero and mine,
Yes.
Joe Dolan. We wrote this story we were doing a live show in Mullingar ages ago. And I just thought, that'd be funny. There's a statue of him there. I don't really know
Yeah.
much about him.
Yeah.
He's an old man who does music. And then over the space of about 4 weeks, I fell in love with him.
Completely.
He's so good.
So you were living your whole life
Unaware of how great he was. It was like, ironically, I know some of the songs. I
Yeah.
remember for like a month we just spent we're just everywhere we're driving, we're just listening to Joe.
Oh yeah,
Blasting it.
See, that's what I grew up listening to. There was 2 tapes in our car. It was either the Dubliners or Joe Dolan. So it was on, between one was my mother's tape, the other was my father's. So it depended who was driving. Was there an argument that day? Because if there was, right,
Which
we're playing
ones was
Mam's
which?
tape. Mam's was Joe Dolan.
Okay.
The Dubliners was
Right.
my father's. It'd be cool if it was the other way around. But
If there's an argument, they're playing your Mam's tape.
oh, absolutely.
Well, that's a good. I need to
So
remember
we'd
that.
know, in the back of the car, we'd know. Me and my brother would be like, we're getting a takeaway tonight. Oh God.
But we have a Joe Dolan record over there
This is because we ran into each other about 2 months ago now,
yeah,
and you were talking about this. I'm very excited to see this.
Oh yeah, but it's
Absolutely beautiful. Look at that.
because it is the only music in the country. So like, I guess the idea of record store,
this is
thrift
stunning.
shopping or whatever, it doesn't really exist here. Because if you go into any Oxfam or Vincent's that has records, it's just Joe.
And I wouldn't
Because
have
it's the
done it
only
other way.
thing people
Yeah.
bought back then.
Yeah, completely. Now we had the little, the tapes in the car, like because we
Yeah.
didn't have a record player. But now I want to go because I have one myself, a record player. I'd love to buy all of these.
We should have that one.
Jesus, I couldn't be taking that off.
I'm only saying that because the cameras are on. As soon as I was like, I paid £4 for that.
Oh wow, big dollars here now.
Jenny, walk into any I got that in Naas. Go into any
I need to
thrift
go,
shop.
yeah, down the country. I think more so. I don't think
Oh, yeah.
Joe Mania hit Dublin as hard.
These jackies
Yeah,
wouldn't
it's a-
know.
it's a
They don't
country thing.
understand.
It's more, I do
Yeah.
think so.
They were too busy listening to Lou
Dubliners.
Reed, the Dubliners. Yeah, that'd make more sense.
Yeah, but
Singing "Dirty Old Town"
Dirty
about
Old Town.
where it was about
Is it-
Lancashire.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not. Most Irish songs aren't about
about-
Ireland. They're just
yeah.
like we've heard other nations do stuff, and we're like, what if we just do that with an accent?
Someone called me out on. I'm a tour guide during the days, and so at the end of my tour the other day, someone was like, "Everything you say, you just end with saying like," and sure, of course, that's a complete lie. It's like there's nothing true about. It's like the Spire, we put that up, doesn't mean anything. Temple
Yeah.
Bar, invented, doesn't mean anything. The famous Dubliners song about the dirty old town, it's not about Dublin.
Not about
The
Dublin.
accusations you're going to level about Joe Dolan?
Never happened.
Out of
But-
context.
Um,
Just to describe this cover here, in case people are listening to this, it is the glorious man himself in the iconic white suit,
Yeah.
black shirt combo, and this stunning, kind of like the Looney Tunes intro, actually,
yeah, he's like Porky Pig,
with some very groovy font.
very much so. And this is a
Golden hour.
golden hour because you couldn't call it a best of because it's really, if it was a best of, it'd be every song he's ever done.
This
you know,
is, you couldn't fit all that on one
couldn't
vinyl.
fit it all in one. 16 minutes playing time.
Because realistically, his best of is the RG Orchestra album.
Yeah.
God.
His cover
What?
of the Universal is
I tell you now, it's up there with the original.
Oh, yeah.
I've had arguments with people saying I think it could be better. His voice.
I was
sweet.
listening to it this morning and I was genuinely like, I can get over this hangover. I can do anything.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
With 90s
it's
Joe.
really, really, really
Joe
could
90.
happen.
It really, really, really could happen. Well, we'll go back to the beginning of his life. All right, you ready? Mm-hmm.
Honestly, this is the highlight of
You
my
text me
year now.
when we were talking about this the other day. You're like, "Oh, do I need to do any research?" But I remember, yeah, because we bumped into each other on the street and we were just going tit for tat with
Yeah,
Joe facts.
Yeah.
And everything I said, you're like, "Yeah, I know." And did you hear about this? I was like, "Yeah, fuck." Yeah, I don't. So I think you're fine.
Okay.
You're probably up to speed. But there might be one or two things here you haven't
I'd
heard.
say so.
Well, he was born on the 16th of October, 1939. Joseph Francis Robert Dolan, born in Mullingar. He was the son of a bicycle salesman / barber and was the youngest of 7 or 8 kids and grew up in a house known for music.
Now, that was always the way in those days. You'd have your father be doing a few jobs.
Yeah,
And there'd be
yeah.
a lot of kids in the house.
But
Yeah.
a bicycle
One-
salesman and a barber
That's
combination
a-
is
That's rare.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can you do them together
Oh.
like on a tandem? Just a,
Give it time and that will be a trend. Like, genuinely,
Yeah.
for your like hipster haircut.
Oh, if
you
you
get
get-
it done on a
you got it
unicycle.
done in an Uber.
Now that's
a
saving time.
business.
Last minute, haven't had a
Jesus.
haircut on the way to a date. Uber clips.
Fresh fade.
That's actually pretty smart.
That's very fucked if you go over a bump.
Cut this from the podcast. This is
This is your review, yeah.
Oh, Joe would play the washboard and his sister sang. His mother encouraged him to play the piano from a young age. Joe's dad died when he was just 8 years old, and his mother died when he was 15. So it was just him and his brother Ben in the family home. So the rest of them emigrated or settled out in their own homes. And when Joe left school, Ben advised him to get a job as a compositor with the local Westmead Examiner.
What the fuck is that?
Drawing.
Just putting the articles together, I think. Or no, arranging the pages of the newspaper, I think. Well, you're in journalism.
I used to be, but
Compositor.
yeah. I thought he was. I thought he used to like draw up things for them, like not like court reports, but like bits like that, which
Wow.
is still crazy. I thought that's what he did, but okay.
No, I think if the newspaper wasn't full enough, they'd just be like,
Could you
make something up there. Right?
Imagine how good that paper would have looked if you're getting quality like this on every single page.
Jesus, what a page turner.
But he was working for the newspaper anyway, and but all the while he's moonlighting as a guitar player, until eventually the newspaper manager gives Joe an ultimatum: either focus on the job or fuck off.
Best thing he was ever told.
He said it was the easiest decision he ever made.
There you go.
Which I wonder how that newspaper manager feels.
Probably good.
Probably good.
Probably had free tickets for the rest of his life.
That was his, story down the pub.
Yeah.
They told me, would you believe Joe Dolan? Would you believe I was the one who made him? Like, that's obviously his life now.
He was dead now. He's definitely just spent his life being like, he might be a good musician, but he couldn't composite for shit. He was never any good. So he gave up the job at the paper in 1958. He figured if music didn't work out, he could always fall back on his background in journalism.
Wow.
Which is just a
I
terrible.
I wrote some of these in as jokes for you
For
at that
me.
live show.
Well, this was at the time when we had just decided to go. We just gotten a full time of comedy and the podcast and all of that. I'm like, do you know, this is probably a bad idea. We were doing this in a smoking area in Mullingar to maybe 30 people.
Oh yeah.
And we were like, do you know what? We could have done comedy 50. Like,
Would
could
we
you-
need to go fully?
there's not really enough to do. But
Westmead Examiner. Are you still looking for a compositor?
but
I don't know what the job is, but I can learn.
I think that would have been back. Like, I could be wrong here, but is that like physically, like making a collage? Because then it'd have to be
Probably,
put
yeah.
into the printer
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Wow, like a jigsaw.
Yeah. Now we're all guessing here,
Yeah.
but it doesn't like.
Let's just say that's
Yeah,
what
why
it is.
not?
Yeah.
I mean, newspapers basically don't exist anymore,
No,
so it's irrelevant. But so himself and Ben had played some gigs together at that point. They performed a national talent competition called Beginners Please when they were younger, and played a few shows around the dancehall circuit. So in the 1960s, the two of them formed the Drifters.
Oh, yes.
With Joe as lead guitarist and Joe was lead guitarist and singer, and Ben was playing the saxophone. So there's other members of the band, but they switched around a lot in the early years.
He really,
I would say
he really wants all the
everyone-
glory there. Lead guitarist and
Yes.
singer.
Yeah.
You divide that up usually.
But I remember trying to find out the names of the people that were in the Drifters with them.
Changed a lot.
Everyone who ever touched the guitar, I'd say, was like, "Oh, I played with them."
Yeah.
Oh god, I played saxophone. And
The Drifters are still going.
are they?
I'm almost, obviously, I don't think it's the original members.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's like Trigger's broom. Are they? Yeah.
I'd
Sure.
be fairly confident. I could be
Yeah.
wrong now, but
You'd have to. It'd be paying the bills.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What the Drifters?
yeah.
Oh, all right.
I'd say if you went to Carlo, my dad go.
Oh, I'm saying that because I know my parents went recently enough now. I'm saying that within the last 10 years, but they definitely did. So they were still going at that point.
All right.
But again, it would have been new members. So I'm kind of like, is it even, can you even call yourself the same?
They take up the mantle. I thought or they're still playing the same songs.
Yeah.
But they're just a Drifters cover band.
Yeah.
But the Drifters are dead.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
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 Or everyone
Morbid.
thinks it's a cover band, but it's not. It is just all the original members
Yeah.
minus Joe.
Oh, well, this is where they met. Their lifelong manager, Seamus Casey. So it paid off, leaving the job behind. In 1963, he got a contract to one of the three big British record companies, Pi International, everyone's favourite. And by 64, at the age of 25, Joe was making his first record, a cover of Del Shannon, a B-side called The Answer to Everything,
Yeah.
which is...
The answer to everything, to it all.
Yes.
Yeah? Do you know what?
I do know. I know. I was
Oh,
going to say
yeah.
it's probably on that.
Well, we're missing. It seems you ate half.
I did
of this
eat some of it, yes.
vinyl, so we're missing a few names.
Yeah.
It could be. It's not on this. Would you believe?
Well, it went straight to number 4 in the Irish charts,
Of course it did.
thanks in part to the fact Radio Luxembourg was giving it the power play treatment. which meant that they just played it every hour.
Wow.
So you just got paid off, and then the radio would just be like, "This is why everyone wants to listen to now." You just play the song every hour.
Now, there's local stations that would do that because they've only bought the rights to, say, 7 songs, and they're like, this is what we play every hour on the hour. But that seems a different tactic.
But even without about paying the rights, they probably only bought the actual physical records.
Yes, that's the
for
thing.
like 4 songs.
So,
Uh,
power play, only thing to play, really. That's
Yeah.
all we got.
but then on the other hand, like if you like the song,
Yeah.
you're like, if it's only played once, you're like, I'll never hear that again.
Yeah,
That's my
exactly.
favorite song. I don't know what it's
gone.
called. Can't find it. Gone forever. But oh yeah,
Mirrors, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Yeah.
I spent one summer driving to. I used to be a lifeguard in a river, and I spent the whole summer driving to the place, wanting that song to come on the
Oh
radio
my
because we didn't
God.
have it. We didn't have it. It was like once in 3 months. It came on once, and it was the 9-minute version, and I yelled every single bit of it.
See, that was when you had to try and get your phone out to record it, to be like, oh my God, I can have it now as a ringtone if I just record it off the
Yeah.
radio. You're like,
Yeah.
yes, those were the days.
oh, what was the?
I didn't even know there was a 9-minute version of that song. So, Jesus.
They just
so
loop
good.
around.
No, there's so much more to it. Wait, the other ways his inflections can say mirrors.
Yeah.
Well, back in these days, it was much more. So the guys are like running they play the song like every hour, but he was also the head of the record label that Joe was on.
Pie.
So it's just it's all
a piece of that
connected.
pie?
So they became a hit, but by God, it wasn't his only hit. He got "I Love You More and More Every Day," "My Own Peculiar Way,"
Yeah.
"Aching Breaking Heart," "Pretty Brown Eyes," "Tar and Cement," "The House with the Whitewashed Gable," "Love of the Common People," and "The Westmead Bachelor." All certified gold.
Bangers.
Westmead Bachelor is
Yeah.
Such a track.
incredible.
They're
Oh, yeah.
all tracks.
They're absolutely. You wouldn't get bangers like that in Jonesboro. Now that's a reference only
There you
people
go.
around
They're about
Leith will know.
4 or 5 people just snorted out their nose while they're driving along listening to this. So by 1967, they'd run into issues with the name. Cliff Richard had the same problem before, or same problems before with the Drifters. It was being used by some vocal groups, so they soon became Joe Dolan and the Drifters. Before becoming Joe Dolan and his Drifters. So it was basically the Joe Show at this point.
Yeah.
But as the man himself said, there's no show like the Joe Show.
Fucking is not.
So there is a kind of theme, I mean, he does sort of take control of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think the
He knew
reason
his
that...
brand.
There's the old
Yeah.
people. His drifters.
Yeah, they're it's,
Don't worry, guys. It's all we're all in it collectively. It's an equal share. Everything. But just the name. Maybe what if we called it Joe Dolan and the Drifters?
Yeah.
Actually,
Hear me out.
his Drifters. Well, that's why the band probably changed around so much, because,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter as long as it's Joe up
Joe
front.
up front, yeah.
So in 1968, the Westmead Bachelor himself placed a half-paper ad in the music magazine New Spotlight, offering a £500 reward
Yes.
for any info on the people who'd been spreading vicious rumours about him. The rumour was that he was gay, so which by 1968 had morphed into that he'd been jailed for sodomy.
Oh, Lord.
So,
was that illegal at the time? Illegal?
sodomy,
Yeah.
as well, if you follow the Bible, yes. I think sodomy is just any sex act that doesn't lead to a child.
Yeah, and
Is
where
that
you
right?
essentially shit on the Bible.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly. So
Metaphorically.
yeah. So that was the rumor that he's just gone to jail for being gay.
Is that the definition of sodomy?
I thought it was,
I think so.
I thought it was bum stuff.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is that, but then I think the wider definition in like a legal term is
Really?
everything. Yeah, because I
I
think
saw-
oral sex is sodomy in some places.
Oh, because I just
Nah.
know from the Family Guy song. It was a long time ago. Just start singing sodomy. It's
I was going to Google sodomy there. All I need to do is press S, it would just autofill out. Most frequent searches. But, well, whatever it is,
Yeah, okay.
it was the rumor that he was doing
Jesus.
bum stuff, doing stuff that wasn't with a woman.
It's an interesting tactic to take an ad in the paper where you're publicising more.
Absolutely.
The thing you're trying
It's-
to
yeah.
silence.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people probably heard about it from that.
From that ad. Yeah, that would be a strange tactic. But
Yeah, but also like £500 reward for any information on the people who'd been spreading the rumours.
Yeah, so everyone.
Like,
We're not singling on one here.
why don't you check the little black book of all the men you fucked?
That, it could be, it could have been.
The leak's coming from inside the White House.
Like,
inside the white suit.
but that coupled with the release of Westmead Bachelor.
Yeah.
You're just,
But it is sad to me because it's like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think he could have ever been public about that because of his fan base and because
Yeah.
of Ireland the way it was. Like,
Yeah.
it's really fucking tragic.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, he probably got away with murder because after we did this, I think my dad was telling me that, like, oh yeah, sure, one of our neighbours used to, Joe would be going on tour in the country and he'd just have like lads going with him and they'd be like, oh yeah, but sure, of course they were staying in the same bed, should be saving money on stuff was expensive back then, but no one would be like, that was a
Putting two
bit
and two
just-
together.
Yeah, they'd just be like,
Yeah.
well, of course, he'd like the company of younger men and sure, they disappear for a couple of months at a time. You can buy him a couple of things, but sure, he's a nice, good man with the money. But apart from beds, he's strict on not spending money on extra beds. But
Yeah.
so in a way, yeah, it's sad. But another way, you could be like as gay as you want to know to the Baton Island.
Yeah, true.
Apart from spreading rumors in the paper, I
And I
suppose.
think his fans, even my mother would have known, but like would have been protective of him. Over, that
Yeah.
kind of,
they're
like,
protecting the men of Ireland because he was very popular with men as well.
Oh sure,
And they just couldn't. Irish men wouldn't be able to deal with it now.
no,
no.
like-
yeah.
I was in Iran a while ago. There it is on the map.
It's very handy that you have this actually.
It's very useful.
A visual reference.
You can't believe how often it comes up.
I would well believe rather.
But it was probably the gayest place I've ever been.
Really?
It's illegal to be gay.
That's the thing.
But on the flip side, they don't know what being gay is. So you could just be walking down. Myself and my friend went to the Middle East's biggest water park. And by God. It may as well be in Fire Island. It was just because it's segregated by gender. So it's men only after a certain time.
Right.
Women only in the morning, men only in the evening.
They're kind of doing themselves a disservice there.
Oh.
If they're only having men only in.
I'd say the boys working there thought it was quite the service. It was because they just don't know what gay is. They're like, oh, it's illegal and bad, but they don't. But men can hold each other's hands in the streets. That's normal, and they like lie in each other's laps and stuff. You could be openly gay. We walked into the swimming pool, and the guys were like, we were just wearing shorts. He was like, oh no, these shorts are forbidden. They're not the right kind. And he brought us up to the
Speedos.
shop. Genuinely, I have them here somewhere. I've never seen a skimpier pair of shorts. He gave two of them, one each to one of my friends, and like for free. And like skipped the whole queue. He was like, now you boys, you go and have a nice time.
Yeah.
And it was just like. It was just about 100 men frolicking and swimming and saunaing and oh my God.
Fair play to them.
Oh, fair fucking play to them. Anyway, so I think that's what was happening with Joe. But
And did Joe tour to Iran? It sounded like he would have
it's look,
liked Iran.
we'll get to that in a bit actually. But he
he was a
went
bit of
over
a
that
pup
way.
now with some places he went.
But yeah, so he had his local lawyers, J.A. Shaw, on the case. He was looking into it and he wanted any info that it could lead to a prosecution of one of these gossips. At the time, homosexuality was still a crime in Ireland, and he was worried it would do damage to the band's image and stop parents letting their kids go to the gigs so that he could have sex with them. But this wasn't his only crisis.
I will not have that kind of derogatory accusation thrown on Joe Dolan.
Not that they're no, it's just like not children, but like young people,
let's specify
young
that.
men of age. with
I'm glad you
tight,
used that clarification.
tanned, lean, of-age men who can leave their parents behind for a couple of weeks to go on tour.
Yeah.
To I know a
See
little
the
swimming
world.
pool in Iran. This wasn't his only crisis though. In July, his trumpeter
Oi, oi.
Tommy he blew a few horns in his day. Come on now, this is a family-friendly show.
Keep it classy, like the Mullingar gig. We didn't
yeah.
stoop to those levels.
Yeah, but the
His trumpeter. What happened to his trumpeter?
well, Tommy Swarbrigg and half the band left to go. They wanted to play new hip hop music and leave the old 60s
okay.
stuff behind. They'd
Big
Tommy.
mistake.
Well, they went and represented Ireland in 1975. Tommy and his brother
In the Eurovision.
and the Eurovision. Yeah,
Did they win?
No.
Tommy Swarbrick is trumpeter. I don't know. They were like,
Never heard of them. Didn't do well.
yeah, where are they now?
Yeah.
I actually have no idea.
They couldn't have won the Eurovision. We would have
Yeah,
heard.
we would have known them, yeah. And at that time, we pretty much won every
they were-
Eurovision, so they must have been terrible.
Yeah.
Who are we?
What a blight on the nation.
Completely.
Oh, that was the other night when we were trying to explain to our new American friend bits of Irish culture and trying to explain Eurovision. You're like, this is what Americans think Europe is, just this weird. Everyone just smokes cigarettes and like we're all depressed after the war and we're all very odd and we have
Song contest.
Song contest. Just like
Yeah.
it's the campest, kitschest, weirdest thing.
I
It's
love
like,
it.
It's so
yeah,
good.
it's all taught with we used to have World War IIs here and now it's just Eurovision Song Contests.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, she was very interested to hear about the whole thing.
That's why Will Ferrell did that whole film. He was like, because his wife is from Sweden.
Yeah,
Sweden,
yeah.
and he was like, found out about it and became obsessed. Was like, I want to do a film about this.
That was not a good film.
I really enjoyed it.
It was they came out during lockdown. It was like one of 4 films that came out.
Yeah,
so I had to watch it.
really fucking liked it.
Really?
But I'm biased because I love Will Ferrell, but also I love the Eurovision, and the songs were bops.
That
and
is quite a
the song
bop.
got nominated for an Oscar.
I feel like that's what it wasn't really a comedy. It was just like, oh, you've tricked me into watching the Eurovision. These are all just songs.
It was a passion project for
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Pierce Brosnan was very good in it. Like, he was weird. Yeah, he's the father in it.
I'm a big Pierce
I
Brosnan
completely
fan.
forgot that.
No way!
Oh, like it's a bit like it's.
Taffin.
Maybe you shouldn't be living here.
Everything.
Iconic.
I
great.
missed out on a chance to meet him in Austin, and because he was working on a show, The Sun, on AMC, and I got to work with his slave.
In this, like, as in the person cast, or does he have his own personal slave?
No, he's personal slave. He's Pierce Brosnan. Once you get to this level,
Yeah,
of-
which one?
oh yeah, he had like a slave on the show, and he said he was a lovely guy.
So happy to hear
Yeah.
that.
Oh.
Yeah, because he's from Navan, County Meath, but someone was interviewing him recently about Navan, and you can tell he's a bit out of touch.
I saw, and that went around everywhere. And everyone's like, "Isn't it great to see him tear up?" And it's like he is a professional actor. By the way,
Yeah.
There's-
But he's like,
Yeah.
yes.
He's like, 'cause at some point the guy asked him,
Navan.
when was the last time you were back? He's like, 70 years.
He's like, is my granddad's house still there? Like, I
Is
don't
my
know.
dad still there?
I had a brother, I believe.
God, the old days of Navan, and they used to come down, and you put four kinds of metal on the table, and you'd say, "I'll have a pint of plain." That's what they called Guinness back in the day. And is that still all go? Oh God, I remember the times. That's what he sounds like. I haven't seen any Bond films.
Oh, that's spot on.
spot on.
It's
Navan.
5 pieces of metal now, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God,
the
big
metal's gone up.
It's-
You're fucking lucky. 6 pieces and not even a shard of metal
Oh,
back.
Jesus.
But
That's very interesting. I didn't know that. That's great.
he's a great man.
Meath and Westmeath were just pumping out legends back in the day. Pierce
Yeah.
Brosnan, Joe Dolan and Westmeath.
Yeah, with Dylan Moore and Tommy Tiernan.
Tommy Tiernan. Oh, of course. Sharon Horgan, she's from Meath.
Yeah.
Fucking, I
And
adore
the other
that woman.
Horgans, I suppose, as well.
Yes, Shane, of course.
What's Mark?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There are
Fair play to them.
I'm telling you.
Oh, we'll get to One Direction fella. He's in this script
yeah,
somewhere.
Brezzy as well. He's Westmeath.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
Mullingar. Potato Park has Meath. I'll claim that.
No longer.
I know, but we'll lament it all the same.
We never got to Tato Park. That was another thing.
Oh,
we
I
were
got
on.
there right before it closed.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm delighted for you.
Buzzer beater. The missus was over, and I was like, she'd had Tato so much. And I was like, there is actually a theme park. And he wasn't there though. They'd already stopped
Mr.
having
Tato.
Yeah, I was like, all she wanted was a photo with a
course.
giant big Mr. Tato. And you're
Absolutely.
like, it's not for the kids. This is for the adults.
No, yeah,
This is-
yeah.
I can't believe
That's
you took your
heartbreaking.
imaginary girlfriend to Tato Park and I'd stay here.
And I bought 2 tickets as well,
Yes.
just so people would believe.
They're the fine details you need to follow through with.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what makes it believable.
He came back in the door laughing. He's like, ha, ha, ha. "Oh yeah, I'll meet you in a minute, honey. I'll just put my 2 tickets down on the table. What's that? You have to go back to America. Okay." You'd be late for the 6 o'clock.
Why is it only you in the photos, Jason? Sure, she was taking the photos.
Someone has to take the
The
photos.
selfie.
That's just the angle she likes to take them from.
Stand directly in front of me and lean back. As a
She likes
selfie.
seeing my arm in the photo.
Oh, she does the cutest things.
She's yes. But well, what
Joe
a
Dolan.
transition. Joe, Jesus, you can feel the hangover. It really comes across in the
There
transitions.
should be a Joe Dolan museum. And the way there's Dolly Parton,
Is there not?
Oh, There's a statue. That's
Because if we have an Obama museum,
Yeah.
we
petrol
had
station.
Tato Park. Where's Joe's show?
Well, we could make it. I
Jesus
have enough
God.
of memorabilia now.
Yeah, there's one vinyl.
Yeah. We'll get to his hip in a bit. But
Yes.
He definitely has somewhere in Ireland. There is a Joe Dolan suit in a charity shop.
there's multiple,
Yeah.
I'd say.
And I know the suit shop in Dublin where we used to get them, and they only do communion confirmation suits now because I went in trying to get one, and they won't do it in my size. And I was very upset because I want where Joe bought suits.
Just say you're making your
can you-
communion. That's not an age thing.
We're going to
Okay,
cut this
true.
out of the podcast, like the name of it. I want you to tell us, but we're not going to give them any business because they're not making the suit. So,
It's changed names now a few times. It's up near Cork Street. There's
Okay.
like a row. I'll get to the exact name for it.
No.
But it's changed. It was
Would-
Taffs.
okay.
But it might have
Taffins.
changed again. No, it's Taff. Everything leads back. to
Maybe
me.
you shouldn't be shopping here.
Well, maybe you shouldn't be linen here.
All right.
Gorgeous.
There you
Absolutely
go.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
One of
and there's a
these-
barber in Westmeath whose whole barbers is just pictures of Joe Dolan all over the walls.
Yeah.
And I think he once cut Joe's hair. I think that might be his claim to Joe.
The one time.
That one time, yeah. So they're the only examples of.
I remember getting the most schizophrenic haircut of my life in Meath in a barber's. I went in on a bank holiday Monday, and I don't think he was expecting to be open.
No,
And he was-
Monday's weirdly a day. Hairdressers don't. My nanny's
Usually-
the hairdresser. They never open on a Monday.
Well, he was, I think, half cut still. He tuned the radio in between two stations, so they were both playing.
Jesus Christ.
And he just didn't. He was singing along with two songs at once. I was like, guys, this is the best haircut I've ever had in my life.
Whereabouts? Do you remember
Oh,
where?
I don't know. It was years ago. Somewhere in. How many barbers are there?
There's a great place in RG, County Loud, just called Hair Cutting Place. That's
Yeah, that's-
truly the finest
all you need.
name. What are you going?
RD is the greatest town in the world.
Truly, I don't know. Time ceases to exist.
But like
there.
the SEO optimization, like that's
Completely.
like you
Yeah.
just straight to.
Are you looking for a haircutting place?
In my head, he rang up trying to get the sign made and completely forgot the word for barber and was like, fucking hair cutting place, and then just went with that.
Well, my big business plan with the retire on, I want to have a restaurant called Food Near Me,
Oh, yeah.
and just let Google just search
Sweet
results.
Jesus, that's ideal.
Yeah. I have no money to put into it. I've got
I
no
don't think
backers.
I don't think
I've
you'll
got-
need a lot of money
I don't
for
have
that.
restaurant experience at all. But with a name
Got
like
a
that,
name.
You can't fail with a name
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I'm in.
This is really an investment meeting. These cameras are, I thought.
No.
But Joe, so the boys left and they went and did the Eurovision. But Joe reformed a new band known as the New Drifters.
Yes.
And in 1969, the sexiest year.
did he call it Joe and Joe Dolan and the New Drifter?
And then you-
No,
and
it's the
his
New Drifters.
Drifters.
I think he does change it again, but it's just him.
He does the same thing again. It's like Joe Dolan and his New Drifter.
But Joe went international in 69 with Make Me an Island. The song was co-written by the duo, it was written, the song was written by the duo Hammond and Hazelwood, Albert Hammond and Mike Hazelwood, who Hammond is
Hammond
the guy
Jr.
the
from Strokes.
Yeah,
This
this is Hammond
this is what you
Senior.
told me that I hadn't known. I was
Oh, yeah.
dumbfounded and telling everyone the week
Yeah.
after. I was like, you won't believe my new tidbit about
You know Joe Dolan? No. Well, Joe Dolan's song, Make Me an Island, what? It was co-written by...
Me on first dates with fellas like, what?
Do you know the Strokes? I've heard of that one. Right, well, his dad, he co-wrote Dolan's song.
Blueprints out. So
Yeah,
then,
it's all connected. So they wrote a load of songs from the 60s and 70s. They were writing credit for Radiohead's Creep. After that's right. They proved that it sounds an awful lot like their song, The Air That I Breathe, which Joe later covered. But
Yeah.
if you go and listen to that song, it does actually sound an awful lot like Creep.
did they do any songs for Stevie Wonder?
I haven't lit that in my list from ages ago.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. There's a song that Joe Dolan does, and it's very similar to a song by
Oh,
Stevie
yeah.
Wonder. Vienna, Goodbye Venice. Let's
Oh.
go by. It
Ah.
sounds very like some in the summertime or sunshine.
Dun,
but-
dun, dun, dun.
No,
So
he's like, I'll play after.
yeah.
And be like, huh,
A lot of songs sound like a lot of
that's
songs. It
true.
does turn out.
Yeah.
But Make Me an Island was Joe's breakthrough international hit, going to number 2 in Ireland and 3 in the UK charts.
Unbelievable.
Apparently went to number 1 in 14 countries, although I kept seeing that repeated places. I remember I couldn't find
The
what the
countries.
countries were. But he followed that hit with Teresa.
No, it's counties.
Oh yeah, that was it. Number 1 with a bullet in County Down. It's the IRA's latest murder. More after 6. But Teresa, you're such a good-looking woman, which are both written by H&H.
Unbelievable.
It makes no difference, and Falling in Love, which all did well in the Irish charts. So yeah, I don't really know Teresa. I think that was his first number 1 after the Drifters.
I might know it if I heard it, but I can't say I know it off the top of my head now.
Well, if you heard it,
Vera. No, it's Vera. This one is like, Vera, Vera, you are my Vera. Maybe it's not. Maybe it could be Teresa.
God, how did he write them all? But Joe and his 8-piece band toured all over the UK, Europe, Israel, and South America.
Wow.
Russia.
Yeah, well, they wanted more Joe. Joe could draw in giant crowds of young and middle-aged women, all throwing their underwear up at the gyrating Mullingar man. He wore Martin Belesque white suits, so the sweat stains didn't show. That's what he said. He was wearing white suits so that he. Which
That's the
I remember this.
opposite
Yeah, it
of-
doesn't make any sense.
Is it
But he
because
had a
What
system?
a maverick.
Yeah.
wait, was it white? Was it cotton or what was it?
It was Martin Belesque.
That sounds Italian.
Just that suit.
That sounds Italian.
But I wonder, is it like
Yeah.
was it like a certain
Italians
type of
don't sweat.
material to make so you wouldn't? But I feel like if you wear white or grey on stage, it's like you're just
Yeah.
asking
Yeah.
for
Unless it was plastic. Like, is it a plastic? Just
He's like the
Slides
couches
right
back
on.
in the day. I don't want to ruin the suit. The freshness is going to be gone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what his logic was, but he enjoyed himself. He enjoyed after the show. He'd like to relax with a nice his drink of choice, a pint of vodka and ballygown.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
A pint of vodka?
Yeah.
A pint of vodka?
Well, maybe it's a pint of the mixed with vodka and ballygown.
But Ballygown water.
Yeah.
She's having
That
water
is-
and vodka.
The ballygown water and
Are
vodka.
we talking, though, like fizzy water or just
Pro-
still water and
Well,
vodka?
this is the 70s. Would they have invented fizzy water in ballygown by then? Maybe have
When did
a
it hit Ireland? When did fizzy water
when did
get to
fizzy?
Ireland?
Yeah, bottled water is probably notional enough.
Oh, clearly, yeah.
But yeah, vodka and bottled water.
No, sure. Back in the day, everything was bottled milk.
But you know what? He
Okay.
had to only
And
drink
bottle
clear
Guinness.
liquids because you're a brave man wearing a white suit anywhere and partying afterwards.
That is
You
That's
go
true.
Near a drop of wine or a pint of Guinness.
Yeah, he couldn't have
And the
Guinness
sweat
in that.
stains would pop out.
Yeah, you have to only drink clear liquid.
Yeah.
Jesus, that's a bizarre concoction. I'm in awe.
I want to try it
Yeah,
now.
we should
Yeah.
probably try it.
Yeah.
Well, now if you take a look at him there. Jesus, yeah, the folks at home is probably going to be. Take a look at a picture of him now. Would you believe it if I said he was a 60s heartthrob?
Yes.
Look it, I would.
Look at that
Of
smile.
course I would.
There's,
Yeah,
there's
I
a
would.
cheekiness. There's a
Well,
glint.
Justine, that smile isn't for you. It's more this side of the
yeah,
table he's going. But
Girl, that makes me want more.
yeah, unattainable.
I can
Fair. Like,
I can change.
The unibrow.
The unibrow was a symbol of. He was one of the most attractive men in the country to his fans, the Dolanites.
But I'd say he'd tan as well. If you said he was in Mexico,
God.
coming back from a tour over there, of course he'd be a heartthrob.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
look at if that man was in Mexico, right? You would know that lad is the head of a gang. Like if you saw that in Mexico, like that lad,
Yeah.
cigar lined all through his suit.
The
He'd sell
cartel.
you whatever you wanted. That lad has it in
For
Mexico.
cash only.
For
Say nothing about it. Put 20 quid in my hand. That'll be in your door tomorrow.
like he just exudes.
Confidence.
Yeah, confidence and
Yeah.
power.
But
What a man.
there's something.
Oh.
Yeah. But so, right, it's September of 1970. The band is playing in Liverpool.
Oh no, this is
Yeah.
Tobin. This is fun.
Joe and a member of his road crew stayed in the venue for a few pints of vodka, probably.
That's where
That's where the trouble comes from.
I only had 2 pints last night. Why am I so hungover?
But they heard some lads trying to bully the bar staff into serving them more pints and giving them champagne. So Joe joked that they should come back in a few hours for a champagne breakfast. The lads didn't like that, and they became abusive. So Joe tried to leave, but he was head-butted, which broke his nose. He was kicked and beaten up. So yeah, the lads only stopped when the sounds of the police sirens could be heard. So it took 6 weeks for the singer to recover well enough to return to work. The club was sued, but it went into liquidation.
Jesus.
And the police, they tried to identify the perpetrators, but No one was ever prosecuted.
That's where he got his iconic nose from.
Yeah.
It was like
It
so
just
after
is
that
broken,
it was
yeah.
properly, yeah.
You can tell what era of a
This
picture
is
it is.
pre-nose.
Pre- yeah.
That's pre-nose.
Yeah.
That's
Jesus.
genuinely pre-nose.
Because it's
Okay.
very crooked. Like
It
it's,
was
it's
quite-
broke. Yeah.
More 2D than 3D.
Yeah.
Come the end of it.
So there's probably...
An Irish Voldemort.
That seems like a sort of sanitized version of the story.
Yes,
They were-
I've heard varying.
Mystery men who were never found, and they were trying to bully the innocent bar staff into serving them more pints. And Joe stepped in.
Hero.
Yeah, he was sipping, as far as we could see, it was clear liquid and a Ballygown bottle beside us. We can only assume he was on the
What?
water.
Was that his plan all along?
Probably.
To have
Yeah.
the water beside the glass at
Yeah.
all times, so you think
There's no
it's just
Ballygown
water.
in this at all. Emptying out bottles of Ballygown.
He just had the same bottle
How
for
could you
years.
keep this lie up, Joe? I've had longer. I've had worse things for that.
Oh
His
Lord,
whole life is a lie.
this is the least of my lies. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh God.
What a bad.
so he's...
yeah.
Oh, no, go on.
He had a bit of development in him a few times because I don't know. You obviously do have it there about the Aer Lingus flight.
Well, this is the... Yeah, well, there's a few flight stories, but... So
He didn't like when he didn't get a drink served. That's what I
That
can
is
take
fair,
from
yeah.
these
the
stories.
jizz, he must love his Ballygown. He's going nuts back there.
Was that when it was over? They didn't have any Ballygown.
Yeah, that was it.
Liverpool?
I can't drink vodka straight like an animal.
Yeah.
But in 1971, Joe was feared dead. The country was in mourning. His plane went missing in an electrical storm
Jesus.
on a flight to Rio de Janeiro. They're on a private flight to a festival with some of Tom Jones's crew.
Oh
there
my
was
God.
British media and record label people on the plane as well. And they're all getting lamped because it was Joe's birthday. And in his words, we ended up drinking everything on the plane. When we ran out of wine, gin, vodka, whiskey, brandy, and beer, we moved on to Dunbanay, Campari,
Champagne.
and Martini, and all the stuff that no one drank. But we drank it all. So Joe was walking around the plane in just his boxers and socks. But due to the electrical storm, the plane had lost its navigation equipment and had to land in a military base. So he placed they could land in the storm. The pilot managed to get the commercial plane down into the base without a radio and without getting shot. So they're
Can you
trying to like
imagine
negotiate.
the pressure of that pilot though to be like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm carrying precious cargo here.
But also trying to you're trying to explain in a foreign language to
Yeah.
like land in a military base, and behind you you've got Joe
Yeah.
locked in his boxers being like, fuck it, I'll fly the plane in. Does he know who I am? Ring him and see if he's got any water in there. So with
G.I. Joe.
so they land the plane.
Which this
the
is
army's
where,
shouting.
this is on the way to Rio.
On the way to Rio.
Yeah.
So the army's shouting. They've got their guns trained on the plane. They're all getting out. They're managing to just de-escalate something. They're all coming out of the plane. But it all kicked off again when the army realised Joe was still on the plane. He couldn't be woke up.
Oh my God.
So just picture a load of Brazilian soldiers coming in and pointing rifles at passed out Joe Dolan in his boxers.
Oh.
And then someone's like, oh, make me an island.
Yeah.
There he is.
Do you know what makes me sad though? Like, and I don't know, maybe I put too much meaning on it, but sometimes I think, was he drinking so much
To hide
to
the...
numb?
Yeah.
Maybe.
There must have been like.
There was an element of that, I'd
Yeah.
say.
It's like when the marriage referendum happened, I remember just seeing so many like things on like the news and that of like just old men who
Yeah.
could never, even then they were just kind of coming out then at like in the like they were 60 and 70.
Yeah.
And like so you lived your entire life as just a single bachelor. Who just never took
But
a wife.
you always know
Yeah.
that in rural towns. It's
Yeah.
always like, oh, he's a bachelor. And like, it's, you know,
There's an uncle that just never takes a wife. And there's no reason
everyone
for
knows
it.
what it means,
Yeah.
but it's never openly said.
I don't know why you two are focusing on the misery side of this here. He was just going around drinking vodka and banging young lads all across the world.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
he's a legend.
He's a
Like,
legend.
I mean,
Sure, he was internally tormented, but that sounds class.
what a way to be tormented.
What a life.
Lord.
Ever
It's a
talking
dream.
to, or maybe someone told me the story that they're like, every gay pride parade and everyone's complaining about, oh, it's disgusting that like the bank is, you know, to have floats and like they're all trying to like, what do they call it, like pink wash their companies and all this stuff. It's sick. And the older lads are like, yeah, if you told me in the 60s that the biggest problem would be that the bank wanted to be gay, like, it's not bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
Compared to what it
Things,
was,
yeah.
that's pretty good. So you might know this bit, right? So in 1974, Joe met Pete Williams, who's a former stand-up comedian. Why would you ever quit this job? But he was working as a warm-up act for Joe in Manchester. And they formed like a work social kind of relationship for decades afterwards. Pete played with Joe on occasions, and he said he always remembered the year he first met Joe, which was the same year that his son Robbie was born. Robbie Williams.
Stop the fucking lights.
Robbie told us a story of the two old boys on the Late Late Show where they were out drinking in Stoke-on-Trent and the lads got locked and they were driving home drunk.
Oh God!
Pete looks,
please over that bit.
Pete looks in the rearview mirror and says, "Oh, there's a panda car behind us, Joe." There's a police car, I guess. Pete says, "If they pull us over, I'll do all the talking. You say nothing." Joe turned around to him and says, "I hope they can fight."
Oh my God.
Robbie told that story on the Late Late Show.
That is unbelievable.
This is Dad and Joe Dolan drunk. Like, right, you don't say anything, I'll do the talk. It's like, they better be able to fucking put up. Something's happening tonight.
Oh my God.
Robbie said he had early memories of Joe returning to the house locked and Robbie having to get out of his bed so that Joe could sleep in it. My first memories of Joe are that I had to give him my bed, said Robbie. So his dad would be coming home and be like, "Boy, Robbie, get up. Let Joe go to sleep." It's like fucking 3 a.m. on a school day. He's like, "Go downstairs and make breakfast."
Fucking, I can't believe this.
Yeah,
that made him though. That's some apprenticeship.
He's Loving Angels instead. He would not have wrote that hit had he not met Joe Dolan.
Yeah.
He taught him about showmanship. Joemanship.
My God.
There you go. There's a clip of that on the
Was he
Late.
opening for him though, doing stand-up?
No, he must have been a musician as well.
Because that was a thing that happened randomly. You know the way throughout the years, randomly some people have.
They're like, it was more of a compilation, variety show.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've done it a few times where I've like MC'd musical acts. Doesn't work.
Yeah, I couldn't see it.
No, people that don't want that.
No one wants comedy. Even a lot of people at comedy clubs don't actually want to be there.
Yeah. They want music.
It's friends have brought them there and they have to go, and you're like, all right. Yeah.
It's a hell of a business.
We don't want to be there either. Yeah. Like, we're on it.
Yeah, we're all. You have to put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
But I think this is the story you were talking about. In 1976, he was flying to Corfu on a golfing trip on Aer Lingus. He was moving around the plane, chatting with other passengers who knew him. He was described as being quite merry. Which
that's always the way.
It should be he was locked.
Yeah, he was after you of it.
But he was asked several times to sit down, but kept getting back up to chat. This is such a like. You can imagine being on an Aer Lingus flight and you're sitting with the Joes on the flight. Yeah. And you can just imagine them sauntering around. And you're probably smoking at that stage, the 70s.
Absolutely.
And just leaning on people's chairs and just chatting about cattle or whatever.
You should be singing tunes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Getting a sing-song going.
Yeah. When they landed in Corfu, he tried to storm out of the airport without his luggage or passport. But he was stopped by the security staff. Apparently one of them drew a gun on Noel Joe, which is the second, like, I remember writing this and I was like, I wouldn't have thought that Joe Dolan would have had a gun pulled on him twice by 2 different international airports. But after the incident, Aer Lingus told his tour operator that Joe was banned from their flights, effectively blacklisting them from like the European tour circuit. It was initially described as a lifetime ban, but it was negotiated down to 2 years after Dolan badmouted Aer Lingus in the media and on the stage.
Of course he did.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, you would ruin a company.
Yeah.
Oh,
today?
Yeah. Joe was like...
Jesus, his PR, if he had it today,
Yeah. Next up, we were going to play You're Such a Good Looking Woman. And if you want to hear the song, get on to fucking Aer Lingus. We're gone.
Oh, fuck.
It
wasn't the only blacklist he was put on either, though.
What was...
The UN blacklist.
Oh, well, that's... Yeah.
When he gigged.
Yes. So, I have another quote from a Hot Press interview about that incident where he blamed the incident on an old dog of an air hostess and said the flight captain was another gobshite. This old fucking dog of a woman was trying to get me to sit down. Sure, it was Tommy down. I haven't seen Tommy. Tommy was on the flight. This other fucking gobshite. Keep your fucking eyes on the road or the sky or whatever it is you have up there. Leave the singing and the talking to me.
And you're the captain. He's another guy.
He's a fucking another one.
In the clouds. Yeah, bum. I honestly...
Do you hear that, Tommy? I said head in the clouds.
Give me that mic. Give me that fucking microphone.
Get me on the intercom.
Do you know what he's starting to come across as to me? You know in Father
A legend.
Ted... Oh, completely. But you know, I can't remember the character's name. It's John... Kenny. Before he goes on stage, he's like, you don't shave a bullock, you know, and he goes down, he's like, hello. I'm like, this is what he is, because he's clearly the rawest.
That's true.
Lad, and like even another gobshite, you're like, wow, you're vernacular.
Another comparison with that John Candy character is that he was also gay.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's all there, but and the
was
Eurovision.
it based on him? Sweet Jesus.
Maybe.
You know,
All the signs were there.
Do, 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 do. Oh. I need to add to my conspiracy wall. I need to join dots.
Well, here's the conspiracy. This is what you were alluding to there. So he was soon back flying again after the ban got negotiated down 2 years. So he was flying far. In 1978, Joe was the first Irish artist, and I'd seen it written a few times. He was the first Western artist, one of the first Western artists anyway, to go behind the Iron Curtain. I think Cliff Richard had been before him.
Yeah.
But Joe had been playing on the national radio, and his tapes were being sold as bootlegs on the streets of Moscow. People were crazy for the Joe show. And he gave them what they wanted. He played 23 concerts across Moscow, Leningrad, and Kishinev. Dolan said they knew all his hits and went wild for Westmead Bachelor in particular.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Imagine just a Moscow crowd in the 70s. Like, Westmead Bachelor.
it's weird because usually they hate the West.
Yeah, that's true. They had to change the lyrics to East.
Eastmead Bachelor.
After he returned home, the G-Men, the G2 branch of the Defence Force, kept the file on him marked communist activities. This is the height of the Cold War. So in 2008, the documents were declassified. And apparently the government had determined it was unlikely that Joe was a secret commie agent.
Unlikely.
Not
Not entirely ruled out.
Yeah.
So in the 80s, he played resident shows in Vegas for a few years. He was doing 6 to 8 weeks at a time for 10 grand a week plus board and lodgings.
Sweet Jesus.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
What a fucking hero.
That's fucking big money. But he always came back to Mullingar.
Of course he did.
Which he affectionately described as 3 lakes and 40 pubs.
Poetry. Where's that song? What a song title.
3 lakes and 40 pubs. I could just imagine he's he doesn't belong in Vegas.
hero.
He hates it. He's there after a couple of weeks. He's got the 10k in cash in his hand, but it just feels hollow.
Can you even get Ballygown in Vegas?
Oh God, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know
You
water.
have to fly it over.
Yeah. What fucking flight coming over of
Half that 10k was just going out the window and flying a bottle over.
Yeah.
Joe, all these bottles of Ballygown are actually full of vodka. I don't know. They've all been opened. And
Do you know?
So
wait, what does Ballygown actually say? Oh, it's terrible.
Do you know what I'm actually picturing now? Him with the water cooler of Ballygown.
Yeah.
Filled with vodka, just in any office space.
Just talking to people, but locked.
Yeah, 100%.
Smoking in the office.
So in the 1968, fuck it out.
We're jumping around here a lot now.
No, this is all linear, but I just keep saying the wrong dates. Oh, this idea of fucking
There's
vodka.
the South Africa.
That's the next
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, okay,
1986, Joe broke apartheid by going to play South Africa. He was put on the blacklist for the UN Centre Against Apartheid after he played there and declined to sign a pledge saying he wouldn't do it again because, he probably would. Also,
Not sorry, and I do it again.
Yeah.
My God, what a man.
Also on the list was the Danny Fisher show band, Tom McGrath and Foster and Allen.
That was,
Those
I
are
knew
the
Foster and
whitest,
Allen,
the whitest acts of all
Yeah.
time.
Sweet Jesus.
Because it's all during the Dunn Stores strike, which we're going to do that story soon. But because Paul Simon went over, he recorded a lot of stuff with local black artists. Joe wasn't doing that. He was just going over to be like, yeah, I get it's me, Foster and Allen.
I'm
Tom
wearing a white
McGrath.
suit. I couldn't be any more.
Van Morrison's
just-
the opposite of this.
Yeah.
He mainly played with black musicians. And Joe's like, nah.
Yeah.
This is...
But then Van Morrison, you think, but look what he turned into.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
A great man.
Another gobshite.
And there's another gobshite. He's finally sticking it to Facebook, man. It's about time someone said it in 2021.
There is a review of that album that is, what's it called? Untitled.
Most recent music
thing,
effort
yeah.
or something.
But COVID descent into madness, I guess. But there's some review of it, I think it was in the Irish Times, and it basically said, like, for a man to have this platform to be saying these things is unbelievable, but it's worth, every song is worth the price of admission. That it's, and I did listen to the album. It's
bangers.
very good. That there's a song called "Why Are You on Facebook?"
At the end of it, you're like,
Sweet.
why am I on Facebook?
You know, really makes you think.
It really makes you. You know what?
Sweet
Sometimes
Jesus.
smartphones, I don't think they're making us smarter. Hot take from Van Morrison in 2021.
Yeah, I enjoyed the fact he made like a 20-song album, called it Part 1, then never did a Part 2, just moved on to some other shit.
I like that.
He's
Yeah.
waiting for the next
Lockdown ended, he stopped caring. He's
Yeah.
like, I'll just go back to whatever.
I suppose I can leave the house again.
Yeah.
But
No one saw anything different coming though. He's a very angry
he
man.
is. He always has been.
Sometimes, though. And
The
it,
angriest men are the best ones.
well, I think I would have been a bit afraid of Joe Dolan. A bit of a character. But sometimes when someone of his, you know, status
yeah.
passes away, you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
did he die in his prime? In the sense of, what if he'd lived through COVID? Could he have become one of the crazy
Oh yeah.
people?
Sure, I mean,
Oh,
given
maybe.
the evidence we've seen before
You
the
know,
court.
there's-
I was thinking
Possibly.
I was thinking he'd go the other way. And he'd start releasing covers from his gaff he'd recorded himself. And Rick
Yeah.
Astley never takes off. It's Joe Dolan doing Glastonbury.
Oh no.
See, that's the dream. That's what you want.
That is a
Fuck, that could
timeline.
have been
Damn.
like, it's so hard to know what
Yeah.
could have happened.
Well,
See, he died quite young.
he did, and we'll talk about his covers in a little bit. But like, it's not unreasonable that he could have had a massive resurgence.
100%.
You've listened to his cover albums?
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Absolutely.
well, going back to the good old 80s,
Yeah.
Joe, it seems he'd play anywhere, although he did have to abandon a tour in the Middle East when the Ayatollah came back to Iran in 1989. So he has principles in some sense. But in the 90s, he set up his own record label called Gable Records with his own record studio and production company, Dolan Promotions in Mullingar.
Beautiful.
So
Back to home.
he came back to
I love that.
3 lakes and 40 pubs.
3 lakes and 40 pubs.
From there, he released his album Endless Magic, breaking a new record as the only Irish singer to have top 10 hits in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.
What a
He really is our Cliff Richard.
He is, yeah. Cliff Bodum beat him out twice, I guess.
Also,
in
a very different character. So I would say,
Yeah,
but
I was like,
career
yeah,
trajectory.
Very different. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cliff and Joe on a night out wouldn't vibe.
I'm not seeing it.
No.
No.
Um,
Cliff is kind of like the
is Cliff still alive?
Daniel O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
They'd be this. They could party together.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
The tea would be on
Yeah, flowing.
fire. Oh,
Flowing.
There's no party like a Daniel O'Donnell party. But we have to do a Daniel episode, actually, and
We
a
will.
Van episode. And this is just going to be a music
There's a
research
lot
podcast
of
now.
yeah.
but tell me about
Great.
South Africa. Oh no, we're past that.
We're
now.
past South Africa, but well, yeah, because he owns Dolan's bar
Yeah.
in Mullingar, and he
His brother.
owns Mojo's nightclub.
Yeah.
A
Is it Mojo
yeah.
with an E at the end?
No, just
No.
MOJO.
lot of the I remember
Unfortunately.
we started reading the reviews out live that time, and a lot of them are like, "I went in here looking for Joe Dolan, but it's just a nightclub."
Yeah.
Well, he's dead, so
I sadly went in expecting it to be
A shrine.
You know, a
Yeah.
shrine, yeah. And all the songs to be Joe Dolan. It was not.
That statue should be on the dance floor. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be outside at all.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it around the town. Bring it into the club at night. Back
it's a
in
hell
the
of a
day.
statue.
It's stunning.
It is beautiful. I think we've all gotten our photos taken outside of it. When we were
Oh, yeah.
So Joe was getting on in years, but just when people were saying old Joe was done musically, he came roaring back with a 3-hit combo. In 1997, he teamed up with another stalwart of Irish music to re-release "Good Looking Woman," Dustin the Turkey,
Yeah.
right to
Iconic.
number 1.
What
Straight
a
to
tag
the
team.
top. My God, this man. He didn't need a marketing team. He'd figured it out himself. He's like, I know what to fucking do.
Just get the fucking turkey involved.
When in doubt.
Yeah, I don't think we've time to explain to the people at home what Dustin the Turkey is.
I
Google
mean,
it.
Another
yeah,
Eurovision entry for us.
Yeah.
Right on the back of that, he released Joe's 90s, where he covered his favourite 90s songs, such as Pulp's Disco 2000, Blur's Universal, and Radiohead's High and Dry, which are all absolute bangers.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I found out, like, I got into the initial Joe stuff, and then found out he had a album of covers of all your favorite songs, and they're all better than the originals.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he picked the songs?
That's
What?
a really good question.
He definitely did.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why I said that.
want to hope he did.
Yeah, he was just listening to tunes on the radio. Maybe just sat down for one day and just flicked around. He's like, that's all right. That's all right.
And then he just turned on the Den, and Dustin was there. He's like, I want to perform with him.
Bring me that turkey.
He just turned on RT Radio 1 and RT 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like, I need this and this combined.
Yeah.
I'm making a
Make it
comeback.
happen.
The 3-hit combo, third one, a year afterwards, he released 21st Century Joe with covers of Oasis's Live Forever, The Clash's Should I Stay or Should I Go, and Talking Head's Psycho Killer. And again, not a single one, not a single misstep.
Every
Earworm.
song worth the price of
Everyone.
admission.
Oh, everyone. Now, in 2001, Joe was arrested in the charge of drunk driving. But he released another app, though.
Skip past that. Skip past.
So the Gardaí tried to hand him a summons 3 times, but he was never at his house. Eventually, they had to hand it to him in one of his shows. The court case came around in June 2003, and the case had to be moved on the day from Kilkenny to Portlaoise because the key holder for County Kilkenny court building failed to turn up.
Oh my God.
Probably.
He paid him off. Don't
No, not paid him off.
He's
He's
He just
probably
heard it was Joe and he's like, I'm not.
yeah.
fucking
What am I? I'd like to fucking live the rest of my life. Thank you. I'm not gonna. So they had to move the court destination because they couldn't get into the court because the guy with the key to the thing was like, I'm not touching that.
No.
So Joe signed autographs for the Gardaí during the lunch break of the trial. It was looking like he might be sentenced, but luckily the case was thrown out in September when the arresting guard failed to show up in court.
Holy Jesus.
Is that Joe Dolan? I'll set this one out. Thank you.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, I've got 2 ears and a heart, so I'm a bit of a fan.
Yeah, I want to live in this country
Yeah,
after.
yeah. The mother fucking said, if you prosecute him, don't bother coming over for Christmas dinner.
One of the air hostesses from Aer Lingus rang and said, don't do it.
Yeah. I'm living in a hut in the Pal. It can get worse.
Holy fuck.
A triumphant Joe left the courtyard on the courtyard steps saying, I want to thank everyone out there for all their support. With that, he strutted away. Oh yeah, that was it. I was reading an article about this. And the
he
article
drove home. Go to the car.
But it's an article from 2003. And it said at the end, it was like, and with that, he strutted away as only Joe Dolan can. In an article about how he was arrested for drink driving. And they're like, God, he stumbled away with what seemed to be a 2-litre bottle of Ballygown water in his hand. He got behind the wheel and headed off to Mullingar.
I'm just picturing the Pat Mustard music that That's just him going
With a drag of a fag and a sip of a bottle of vodka, he walked off as only Joe can. We'll see you next time, Joe.
Holy Jesus. I just love that the public is behind him.
Oh, yeah.
When does
The
that
judge
ever
wasn't going to
happen?
show up if he had an option like.
Because I was going to ask earlier, it's like, as soon as you said it, it's like, this could not be in Mullingar. He's after been caught somewhere else.
Yeah,
this would not
yeah,
happen.
Oh,
in,
of course.
They had, they had to bring him in front of the special court for IRA people, and they couldn't get a jury in the country to give Joe a fair trial. So in 2004, after about 40 years of gyrating, Joe had a successful hip replacement, and he went back to touring, but always wanted to seize an opportunity. Joe raffled off his hip on eBay to raise money for Keith Duffy's autism charity. So the 30-year-old Maggie Keating from County Cork, she bought the hip. Guess how much?
It's a bloody low price.
It is a low price.
I can see it there
Is
now.
it
Yeah.
$6.80?
It's $6.90.
It's a slightly funnier.
Yeah, I might have just changed that to 69. But that's insane that you got pretty close there. But $690 for a man's
That's not
bone.
right.
2004, so that might be about $2,000 now, but I would easily pay 5 to 10.
Absolutely. But the thing, eBay wasn't that big of a deal in Ireland.
That's
that time.
true,
And
yeah.
I think people weren't. If that was today, if she re-auctioned that now,
Oh my God,
do you know
well-
what that would resell for?
Well, I'll tell you, she did try. But what adds to the resale value of it is that Joe signed it.
Yeah.
He wrote "Mind My Hip" on it.
What a
It was also signed by Podge and Raj, who launched the auction. So in 2015, Maggie wanted to sell the bone to raise money for her daughter's college fund. She went on to Red FM and said, "It was always nice to look up and see it. It was on display in my house, but then some people would pretend to bite it as a joke or throw it to the dog. So I wrapped it up and I put it away in case it would break. I don't know how much it would even be worth, but I have my joy from it. And now maybe it would be the time for someone else to, if I could get the right money for it." Don't look at me like that. This is a fairly normal sentence.
She wrapped it. She was just
Because
leaving
people were throwing it on display.
Put it in a fucking box or something, you lunatic. What if a dog did come in and take the thing?
Well, it did. Several times, it seems.
Poor Joe.
That's not right.
No respect.
Absolutely no respect.
So she couldn't sell it on eBay where she bought it because in the interim, this is 2015 now, and they got a little bit weird about like selling human bones on the internet. Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
They crack down on that.
And this might have been all rumors, but later she said she got offered about $3,000 cash in hand for it. That seems more a reasonable price
low.
for it.
I'm telling you now.
Low?
That's fucking low.
This is still 2015, so yeah, you're right. That is probably worth about $17,000 now.
100%.
That's all. Raising money for my daughter's college. You don't need money. You walk in with Joe's hip. You slap that down at admissions at DCU and say,
"Give her a PhD now."
I'll have a new library named after me. Thank you very much. The Joe Dolan Experience.
Oh, yeah.
Well, in 2004, he released another cover album called Double O Joe. Mm-hmm. That's great. I seem to have deleted what songs were on that one, so we'll just have to pretend that we know. But so Joe kept on touring and doing projects until 2007. In November, he had to leave his show in Abbey Leaks because he was feeling ill. And on Stephen's Day 2007, Dolan was brought to the Mater from his home in Foxrock after he became ill, and he died shortly thereafter at 68 years old.
Whoa.
That is young.
Hold on
so
now.
young.
Foxrock.
Yeah, he had a house in Mullingar. He just didn't need to be there.
He was making money, right? He was so close.
You live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
That's a sad way to end it now. That's probably what did it to him.
I think it was.
He just
didn't suit him. Didn't take to it.
But they buried him in Mullingar.
Mullingar gave him the energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they had a serious issue after he was buried that people kept going to the grave to take pieces of soil from it, and they had to keep replacing soil on it because people kept just going and taking a fucking jar home of, look, I got the soil off of Joe's.
They're lucky they left it just at the soil.
Yeah.
Like,
I hear his bones are going for good money.
There was people leaving underwear the whole time at it as well. We'd leave flowers and the whole lot.
Even underwear. What gender underwear?
Women's.
Large size men's boxers.
He went relatively quick. He had a short illness.
What? Because he was touring right up until.
Did it say what the illness was? Or
It's a lot of speculation.
Yeah.
I read about pneumonia as one of the possible speculations. There was also the speculation
that it was the old
COVID. Yeah. COVID.
Interesting. Because it happened quite quickly, but he was touring all the way up until the end.
Right up to the end, yeah.
But he was
also drinking pints of vodka.
Yeah.
Since he was
that will
very
do
young.
It to you.
Yeah.
The hip went. Fuck this.
I think I've written a bit more about his sex life after this, but I'll give you here's some weird tidbits that I found when researching this. The Smiths sideshow as an influence. Johnny Marr said, please let me get what I want, came from Joe's first single, The Answer to Everything. Because his parents are Irish, so they would have just been flat out. And Morrissey, so they would have been flat out playing Joe.
That is insane.
If you listen to both of them side by side, they're quite similar. Johnny's parents were immigrants from Athy, and he said he grew up with his mother's prize record was a 7-inch copy of Joe Dolan's debut single. Morrissey used to walk out on stage to Good Looking Woman. We found footage of that. Because then we started doing that for our live shows. Because
I want to do that
a fucking banger.
It's so good.
Walking out in a brown suit.
It gets everyone up.
If I was a wrestler, that'd be my walk-in song. 100%.
Good in a bit. But what a fucking entrance.
Jesus, he's a great trumpet player, in fairness to him.
Tommy Trombone.
If McGregor walked out to it, could he undo the damage?
I watched a room full of 1,000 very problematic men in Vicar Street.
Oh, yeah.
Boo down Conor McGregor, which is interesting.
It was
it was everyone.
Were you at the gig?
No, I heard about it after. This is Bert, wasn't it? Bert Kreiser?
No, it was at Mark Norman on Tuesday.
It probably happened a few times.
Fucking amazing.
I did.
Every American references it. because
Yeah,
they all
because
know
they
him,
don't know- yeah.
and they don't understand
Yeah.
that.
I
And
know
it's,
Mac DeMarco was here a while ago, and I think he just plays videos of random stuff behind him. And a video of McGregor came on, and everyone started booing. I was watching a podcast with him. He's like, "Oh, it was the fucking Adam Freeland podcast, I think." And they were like, "Yeah, I don't know what happened. They don't like him over there or something anymore." Because you obviously can't stop a concert in the three arena to be like, what's going on now?
Yeah.
They don't get any of the other news.
No.
All of the
That's great that they did it this week again.
Which I mean, if you if you wanted to get a bunch of fucking guys I would have assumed would be McGregor fans into a room, but everyone booed him down. I think literally when that footage went around of McGregor punching the mascot, that was the first time Americans were like, "Oh, is he not a good dude?"
Yeah. But try when I was even traveling there, I was in Vietnam, and people were like, "Where are you from?" Ireland. Oh, McGregor. Like,
Yeah. It's fucking
Joe Dolan.
You know what's interesting about Joe Dolan is Robbie Keane's second cousin.
if you like McGregor suits, wait till you see
Yeah. You ain't seen nothing.
Yeah, it was right into
his the fuck you pinstripe one is just it's another gobshite.
Who's that fucking gobshite? Fly the plane. So
Robbie Keane's second cousin.
yeah, there you go.
Jesus, that's a good one.
Yeah. So after he died, maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll cut it out. I don't know. But after he died, Donald Lynch wrote an article, an obituary in the Times, saying he apologized for asking Joe if he was gay. He did lay it out, or he was supposedly in a long-term relationship with Isabel Fogarty, who he met in the 80s, and he was living with her in Foxrock when he died. But yeah, so this is all from his official biography. His official biography was written by Ronan Casey, who was the son of Dolan's manager, Seamus Casey.
Okay,
so it's not
yeah.
very tell-all. So I don't know. From the same biographies, a lot of stories of Joe is Joe's charity, but all these stories come out after he died. There was all these stories of him giving like millions away. But
Jesus.
Father Brian Darcy said, anytime I met Joe, he would always quietly shake my hand and crush a few £100 into my palm. He never wanted this to be known when he was alive, and maybe not even when he was dead. He'd always say to me, you know who the poor are, they come to you, and you look after them. Which is, I like that he's a charitable man.
Yeah.
I like even more that he's doing it in just an uncle fashion of like a wad of hundreds.
I'm
of
not
like,
looking for the fucking praise for it.
you take care of that now. We have bank accounts, so you'll fucking do it.
Yeah.
There's no need for the bank to know about it.
Cash is king.
Cash is king. You wouldn't think of handing a couple of hundred to a priest now. Just like, you know what to do with that.
You know who the poor are. Keep them that way.
Next time he's in Vegas, he sees him in the
Treat
front row. So in the Gathering, remember the Gathering in 2013 when they tried to convince
Everyone to come home.
everyone to come home.
Oh, yeah.
In the post-recession, they're like, what if
Yeah.
you come back and visit your mum?
Yeah.
Would you
What-
come on? Bring
if
some of
the
that
cus-
Australian money home.
What if the customs house was green?
Yeah.
Would that bring you home?
Would that bring you home? Huh? Have you solved the housing crisis yet? Pints? £4? What? For the first 10 customers. Come on.
Mine.
First 10 people in through Dublin Airport get a free pint. Come on home. Come on. Your nan misses you.
You will.
But
see you
so
there, see you there.
one of the events that they held in August
They
was a
did
big draw.
They actually did better with referendums.
Oh, they
Like,
did. That's
like,
how they got people
Never
back.
mind the gather it. Just
Yeah.
like let us change the constitution and we'll all come back.
Yeah.
But it was one of the big draws they tried to get people back. Where it was in August, they held the Joe Dolan Bachelor Festival. So Adrian Dolan and N. the Gyogan attempted to bring bachelors from all around the world to Mullingar for an event that included a strongman competition, a vintage motor rally, and the Midlands Motorcycle Club. It's where they held the All Ireland Strongest Man competition there. Which I remember watching the video of this at the time. It was like, so it's supposed to be for like bachelors to find wives,
Yeah.
but all the events are just
Men
the most just
orientated.
the led like what the fucking lads. You're here to find a wife. It's like, what's on? Oh, we can go to the motor car rally, or we can go watch the Strongest Man competition, and then it's pints in the pub with the boys afterwards. And Man U is playing Arsenal, and then I think there'll be some women at about maybe after that if we have time. We're all going to go stand around a barbecue and comment about the best way to do it.
Hands on hips, essential.
Yeah.
That still goes on every year. It's just called
It
the
does.
Bachelor Festival in Westmeath every year.
Yeah.
But it's more targeted towards Ireland. Like that, I was obviously trying to attract international.
It was trying to get there. It was,
Over
you're in
the-
California now. That's it must be Hollywood. Sounds pretty interesting. Have you got the Joe Dolan Bachelor
words.
Festival?
Vintage cars. Come on.
There's a tractor rally in 4. Free entry. One ticket covers the whole thing.
Fucking hell.
So
I blocked that out, the gathering. Like, that's like Arthur's Day, that whole shit.
That was a very, very...
I think the last year of Arthur's Day might have been the year of the gathering.
I have them linked in my head for some reason.
Yeah, it was just an attempt to try and get us to spend money again, which kind of worked.
Yeah. Also, the country was going through a very big recession. We had people in other countries who had a bit of money, and we couldn't be like, remember remittances? Can we bring them back?
Yeah.
Like, just put something on.
Passing around the no-raid buckets was like, this time it's just for us. We just need the IRA is doing fine. But so one of the bachelors on the roster for the big selling point was a young man called Niall Horan.
Stop the lights.
You know, he would have been 20 years old at the time. So in the
connections here,
there's a video that's advertising it, and they interview Bobby Horan, his dad, who. Like, this one, like One Direction was one of the biggest bands in the world at the time, and his dad's just like, yeah, the boy Niall seems to be doing well. Yeah, now he wouldn't be. I'd be more of a Joe Dolan fan myself, but
dead fucking right.
Just one
Don't
of
try
the
and sugarcoat
proudest moments where like his son's doing huge around the world, and he's like, he's good.
He's no Joe.
He's no Joe.
He fucking never will.
I'm bringing him down to the Bachelor Festival and go show him a real musician. Yeah, there's a man's man. They also get the name of the festival wrong in the video. I think I need to go back and watch the video. It's great. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of the story, I think.
Jesus.
You had 57 UK and Irish hit singles in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. 22 albums. Mullingar named a bridge after him. And that's it.
Name the town after him.
Fucking name the town after him.
3 lakes and 40 pubs.
It's weird. I have friends from Athlone.
And he owns them all.
Yeah.
And weirdly, they'll claim to be Roscommon at times over Westmeath. I'm like, why the fuck would you not claim Westmeath? You've got Joe Dolan.
That's true.
Like,
Roscommon was put on the map for being the only county to vote against gay marriage.
yeah.
And the other one's got Joe.
The
Yeah.
other one's got Joe.
Yeah.
Who would have voted for gay marriage? 100%.
He would have
on
been.
board.
He would have been given out about it, and then went into the ballot box and went, "Yes, please give me one of them."
And he sauntered off in a way only Joe Dolan good.
No longer a bachelor, but still from Westmeath. Well, that's
I
it.
am in shock at like the celebrity
go.
crossovers here. Robbie Williams,
Yeah.
Robbie Keane.
Yeah.
Jesus, the Smiths
Vladimir
fucking
Putin.
writing a song. Yeah.
He met them all, shook hands with them all.
Jesus.
More with some, but
Yeah, more than hands.
Yeah, Niall Horan. The whole. You're trying to just learn his secrets there. You're looking into his eyes.
They're captivating though.
They are captivating.
I'm telling you, and I think the unibrow actually stops some of the sweat getting onto the suit. So it's actually a tactical move.
Oh,
to have.
a tactical brow.
Tactical brow.
No, he's a very
I would. Absolutely would.
But that was great. Well, what? Yeah, was any of that
incredible.
surprising to you?
There's a lot of
Robbie
their,
stuff.
Yeah, well, like the influence, how many other artists he influenced that I did not realize.
Sure, yeah,
That's incredible to me.
yeah.
And because you think or assume, is this just within Ireland that he was really appreciated, and then you come to find no, that was not the case at all.
Flew all around the world, played gigs all around the place. But any Irish emigrant from that period would have also just been playing Joe.
100%.
That's when they were talking about the old country. They're not playing, the Mary Walliper's old songs. They're just playing Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
He also did the bit in Unbelievables. Do you remember he was the mad butcher?
No.
Yeah, Unbelievables. He was great.
Shit.
And he comes in being like, have this DVD or video rather,
Yeah.
trying to sell to you, and it's his own video, and the lad's like, oh, would it be any good? No, it's shite. Like, he didn't mind making a joke for himself.
He's great. Fuck, I watched a lot of interviews with him back when I was writing that, and he just seemed like great crack.
Absolutely. With those
It's-
stories.
yeah. Oh,
he could have been a stand-up.
He wouldn't have needed to degrade himself like that. Yeah.
No.
I'd say he was some horn for the points.
That drink driving story is
That's
like,
very funny.
I did not know that at all,
Yeah.
and that is insane. Just the level of people be like, oh, I don't have the key. Oh, is that today? Oh,
Jeez,
fuck
oh.
off.
If you sent the
That-
town people linked
Sweet.
arms and wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would believe it.
You wouldn't see that much community involvement for the tidy towns, but
No.
they all came together
and
for Joe Dolan.
signing autographs after the case while they're waiting for the jury to
Guards.
like.
For what? My God.
Imagine trying to get an impartial jury though, like sitting them all in and be like, "Have you
that's-
heard of Joe?" He's like, "Oh fuck,
That's,
yeah."
There's no way you could get
No
an
way.
impartial.
But and then there was something really funny about how the article was written. It's very dated. Just to be like, can you imagine someone getting off a drink driving nowadays and they're like, aha, and he sorted off with a smile and a wink.
Yeah.
Fair fucking play to him.
It's
the one
only
thing.
Joe could.
Yeah.
Also, it's only Joe good. It's also drink drive. It's being over the limit in like 2003 or whatever.
Like, it's not that long ago.
But it would have been like 7 pints.
Yeah. What?
Oh.
Jesus. But the thing is that Ray Stanton was like, all the stories, whatever, you think a lot of the times artists that end up that way mightn't all the time have the work to show for it. That they're like, well, you haven't earned that reputation. You're being a diva, and where's the back and forth? This lad had banger after banger.
Non-stop.
No miss. All hits.
Like, go over. I'll say it again. I can't believe how much I love them.
Yeah. Because people naturally think when I talk about how much I love them, they're like, oh, that's a joke, is it? Like, I'm like, no,
he's
I'm
great.
fucking... like, because even that's when I went trying to get T-shirts, they didn't exist. There was no merch of his T-shirts available online, so then I designed one, but I was like, I feel a bit weird, I don't want to make money off him, so I donated it all to the Hospice Foundation in Ireland because I just wouldn't like to be making money off.
You could have used it to buy his hip.
I fucking could have used it.
We'll start
Still
the
time,
museum.
there's still time.
You could have donated that to our museum.
I'm keeping that. If I got that hip, I'm not putting that. That's mine.
No.
Jesus.
This is an original signed vinyl.
Sorry?
No, it's not.
I was like, did you rip off the signature?
Yeah.
It's fucking worthless now.
No, because you can keep the record. I'm just going to keep the signature. Well, sure, it's already his name's there. I didn't need the name of it twice. You know, it's fucking. I'm not an Aegis.
Oh my god.
But well,
that was incredible. Thank you so much for taking me on this journey.
Oh, no worries.
I'm more, eager to get this museum up and running. There needs to be.
Yeah,
Dolly Parton, she has her whole fucking place. There needs to be a Joe Dolan.
I was going to say like a Neverland, or what was Elvis's place?
Graceland.
Graceland.
Yeah. Well, we could set it up in Mullingar.
I think so.
There's
Aer Lingus would sponsor. Ballygown
will get on.
We've got our big sponsors.
Isn't there a secret record club or a secret recording studio in Moat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't Michael Jackson record there?
Yeah, I don't think it's secret.
Well, it's secret. No.
We all know about it.
Well, because part of the secret is, well, like the people are secretive. So, like, if Michael Jackson's there, they won't say anything.
I know loads of albums have been.
It's probably because of this man.
100%.
Yeah. I mean,
no fact to prove that, but I believe it.
Give him the credit.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Well, thank you for that. I'm going to go home now and listen on loop to Joe Dolan songs all day, and I'm going to go looking for some vinyls of Joe.
I'm going to go melt in the sun and give the worst tour of my life.
Just give them Joe Dolan facts.
And you know Joe Dolan.
That's all you need to do.
Well, you're going to fucking know him after 2 hours.
Yeah.
Come with me.
Why aren't Mullingar doing a tour on it? That makes no sense.
The walking tour of Mullingar.
Oh, there would be we could.
There's a market.
We could.
So we're all moving to Mullingar. Get it up on the map there. Where is it? Zoom in.
It's not far from Iran, is
It's
it?
somewhere over that direction in general.
Lovely.
Yeah, like the only thing that stopped them going to Iran was like the Ayatollah came back and Paris. Like, maybe not.
You know what? I know
what
my
stopped them
place.
there is that they don't drink in Iran. Is it?
Yeah, I'd say that was a bigger. Jesus. Unbelievable. What a journey. I feel enlightened. I feel renewed.
Yeah, I feel worse. But spiritually
we got through it.
Yeah.
It was fun
We did.
for us.
Yeah.
That's
Heaven's
good.
time.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
do you have anything you want to plug?
Oh yeah, shit.
Oh no, not at all. Just look me up
Well,
online.
we'll tag you
You'll
and all
find me. There's gigs and who knows what else.
That'll be right.
Find me online.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. What a great plug. And segue.
After everyone's already turned off the thing, we're like, oh fuck, do you want to promote set
Shit. Lovely. Professionals.
Come to Mullingar.
It's beautiful.
Oh. Nice.